I got a one-way ticket to Moscow. I did the Trans-Siberian Railway through Russia, down through Mongolia, into China, down to Hong Kong. And then from there, took a flight to Bangkok and made my way back to the beach.
All right, we're back. We're here at Total Promotion Company with the man, the myth, the legend, Brandon Mills. Brandon, how are you doing today?
Doing good.
So tell me a little bit about Total Promotion Company. What is your mission statement?
Sure. Total Promotion Company, we produce branded merchandise, apparel, promotional products, display booths, lots of different kinds of physical product that can be used for exposure for our clients. And our clients range anywhere from small to mid-sized businesses to churches and sports teams, musicians, anybody that needs physical branding, that wants to put their logo, their artwork onto any kind of product to get further exposure and to become another customer touch point.
That's awesome. So you do full service, everything in-house right here in Las Vegas?
So there's not any shop that can do everything in-house because there's too many things.
Yes.
There are so many different ways of producing promotional products.
Yes.
But we try to do as much as we can.
Mm-hmm.
So in-house, we've got direct-to-film printing, we've got laser engraving, UV printing, embroidery. We've got a lot of different things that we can do to produce what we can in-house. And then what we can't produce in-house, we've got trusted partners that we team up with. I like to say that we don't really have competition in this industry.
Yeah.
I call them co-peditors because we sell to them, they sell to us. At the end of the day, we're getting, the top-notch, highest quality product to our clients.
I love that. And you've been a part of Total Promotion Company since 2019, is that correct?
That's right. Yeah, December 2019, I acquired the business from an older gentleman and his wife. They were looking to retire, and it seemed like the right opportunity at the right time.
Now I have to ask, because you said right opportunity, right time. How was it acquiring a business less than 90 days before the official announcement of COVID?
Well, had I known that that was going to happen, that the government was going to try to, turn the entire economy upside down, I might have waited, might have sought other opportunities. It was a very difficult time. The COVID lockdowns were ridiculous. Yeah. Completely unnecessary, completely uncalled for. And it was the largest transfer of wealth, in our country's history. Mm-hmm. There were small businesses that, generational businesses that were having to shut their doors. Yeah. And all because of, mandates that were coming from politicians that knew nothing about what was happening.
And you took that opportunity to turn the negative into a positive. And I feel like you almost flourished through COVID and then became where you're at today.
I don't know if flourish is the right word.
Yeah.
It was a lot of struggle. It was very, very difficult. I created memorandums that were, I was so good at writing them as an NCO in the military, and so I made the most government-looking document that I could, had them notarized, that stated that according to CISILAC's mandate, saying that supply chain, excuse me, what did he call it? It was supply chain logistics for essential businesses such as hospitals and police departments, which were our clients at the time. We didn't say that we were making, squishy balls for a mental health hospital. Yeah. But because of that, we were able to keep the doors open. It would have been the nail in the coffin had we not been able to continue to operate. We were checked twice by at the time we were over in Henderson, twice by government officials that came in to make sure that we were abiding by those mandates. And according to them, they weren't trying to shut anybody down, but that's exactly what they were doing. Yeah. When I showed them the memorandums, They said they left and were fine with it. I don't know if it was people just driving around seeing what businesses were open, or if it was competitors that were calling on us, or what it was. But every time they'd come in, we put our mask back on, try to keep them happy.
Yeah.
And check that block. But yeah, it was a ridiculous time.
Yeah. I mean, I was stationed up at Top Gun during that time, so we even had the mandates there. Like, it was so weird because the spaces where we'd be closest to each other on the jets, we weren't allowed to wear our masks because that's fine. But then when we went inside and we were 6 feet apart, they're like, make sure you have your mask on. And there are like people roaming around. So like,
it wasn't about protection. It was about compliance.
Yeah.
It was, who's going to, just fall in line,
mm-hmm.
which is very scary because, you wonder how, some of the largest atrocities throughout human history have happened. And it's complete compliance, of their citizens. And it's scary how many people just went along with the ridiculousness.
Yeah. So, you were in the Army. Abrams tanks, did I get that correct?
That's right, yeah.
And that was from 2009 to 2013?
Yes. 2010. So, I went to MEPS at the end of 2009.
Okay.
Shipped out in February 2010. Or no, I guess I went, what was it meant? Yeah, so it was February 2010 when I went to basic training.
Yeah. So I need to know, what was the most badass part of working on Abrams?
Oh man, being in the gunner station and actually pulling the triggers. Yeah, it's 120 millimeter rounds. Sending down range is something that not a lot of people get to do, and it makes shooting anything else, just seem like really, really small.
I bet, like, to be behind that trigger and you just get the
yeah.
How much kickback is there?
So you've got the breech comes way back into the turret.
Mm-hmm.
The loader's got to stand out of the way. He'll arm the gun, and he'll scream up when you're ready to fire. And it's up to the loader to be out of the way so that when he does give the all clear, he doesn't get hit by the breech. I've had a loader get hit in the leg by the breech, and it leaves a bruise that lasts a long time. There's not a lot of kickback in the tank that you feel,
mm-hmm.
Because a lot of that absorption is coming from that into the turret.
It's crazy. Like, I can't even imagine what that experience is. Like, I mean, I've only shot one rocket launcher in my lifetime, but that was out in the middle of desert in Fallon. So, I'm sure that's absolutely nothing like shooting a tank.
Completely different. I mean, it's from you're inside the turret, and it's almost like a video game when you're controlling it,
mm-hmm.
and so you're looking for your target. You've got it on the reticle, and then when you fire, I mean, eventually you just get so used to it that first time you ever fire around, it's hard to wipe that grin off your face.
Do you have any like footage from back then?
I've got some stuff on saved on my phone. Back then, smartphones weren't as prevalent, so there's a whole lot less footage
mm-hmm.
than there is now. Everything is filmed and recorded and documented.
Yeah.
But I've got some good stuff though.
Cool. If he gives me permission after this, that's gonna be overlaid right over about here.
Yeah, I'll have to go through and look through my old files and see what I can find.
So, you've frequently mentioned that being an NCO taught you a lot about leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Did that teach you more about role delegation or about patience?
Probably both. I went to WLC, Warrior Leadership course in Korea. Military leadership is unique. It does teach you a whole lot about looking after your subordinates, your soldiers. Small things like they eat first.
Mm-hmm.
You fuel the tanks, you fuel your troops, and then you can fuel yourself. But it's a mindset of looking after the ones that are that are doing the mission.
And that's one thing that I wish existed more in civilian life, because vets, we got each other's backs. It's kind of like this tight little family of bastard children from all over, and we just all come together, and it's like this. But then in the civilian world, there's so much red tape, especially as someone who has a degree in human resources. Like, red tape is so prevalent.
Yeah, and you, it's different too, because you can't use a lot of the tools you have in the military. Like if somebody's messing up, you can't put them in the front leaning rest position, you know, in the push-up position, and just keep them there until they've learned.
I mean, you can.
Yeah, but then you've got, you know, other problems that you got to deal with. Yeah, so and you know, using your voice, it's very different in the civilian world. It seems like, you know, you always have to be very careful about, you know, legal things and emotions, and you know, a lot of people just they don't have the resiliency, you know, kind of built into them that was instilled in the military.
So after the military, you spent about 5 or 6 years in the oil industry. Tell me a little bit about that.
Sure. When I was ETSing, I was going one of two ways. I've got my degree in criminal justice, and I thought, you know, coming out of the military with a degree in criminal justice, you know, just go into the police force.
Yeah.
And so I went and applied to a bunch of different ones, did their tests, would go to do all the physical trainings, made my way through the application process. But because the time to the application process takes so long for the police departments, by the time they got back to me, I'd already moved on. I'd gotten my CDL while ETSing, and so I got a job driving over the road, just with trucks, and I did that for about 5 months. It was I enjoyed it, but it was a lot of time away from home. The money wasn't great, but I did get really good experience in driving a big truck. And so when the opportunity presented itself, a guy I served with in Korea, he had ETS'd a year before I did, and got hired on with this company in South Texas, and we got to talking. He said, "Man, come on." He's like, "You already qualify for everything here." He talked to the guy, got the boss there, and got me a job. And it was great. It was more money than I've ever made in my life. And I thought, oh, this is all right. This is a whole lot better. Yeah. And I had more time off. I would work 2 weeks on, 1 week off. And I thought, man, every 2 weeks I get a week vacation. Sounds great.
In theory, yeah.
In theory, yeah. But you know, as that goes on, it starts to wear on you. You get home, kids are in school. You know, you're just sitting around waiting for them to get back, and you know, I was only around my family a third of the time. You know, the rest of the time, you know, you're working.
Yes.
You know, sometimes 16, 18-hour days, which you get used to as well. You know, everybody else, you know, to your right and left is going through the same thing, so it just becomes normalized.
And what I'm hearing from that is you went from high risk in the oil fields to now high stakes in entrepreneurship and owning your own business.
Sure.
I kind of feel like it kind of ran in your blood to have your own company. You had a computer repair business in high school, right?
Yeah. So yeah, my first attempt at entrepreneurship was on-site computer repair business. A buddy of mine in high school, we after school we had our Nokia phones and a car and a little toolbox, and we'd go to businesses and set up their networks. We would go to, you know, people's houses and fix their computers, old ladies' homes, and teach them how to use email so they can communicate with their grandkids. And it was good. It was, you know, we didn't have any overhead. You know, being in high school, we're still living at home, so It was just all income.
And then you spent some time in Thailand. Why don't you tell me just a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. Well, so after high school, I went to college, went to UNR. It was during 2003, the SARS epidemic was going on, and Singapore was subsidizing flights because the tourism industry was hit really hard.
Yeah.
So I was able to get a round trip flight from here to Singapore for $300. I thought, oh, this is a great opportunity. Did a backpacking trip for about 3 weeks. Went from Singapore up through Malaysia to Thailand. Found this incredible beach, and I didn't want to leave.
Yeah.
And but I had to get back and finish my studies. But with the idea that after college, I would make my way back there. So I graduated college. My parents had, when I was a kid, had saved up money for my studies for my college.
Yeah.
And I didn't end up using it all. I went to college on an academic scholarship.
Oh, nice.
So I had some leftover money. I had about $10,000, and my dad was like, "Well, what do you want to do with this money?" Thinking that thinking I was going to put it down on a car or something, and I thought, man, I want to travel.
Yeah.
Where can I go to, really stretch my money as far as I can?
Mm-hmm.
And so the idea was to go to Asia for a year.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I wanted to go back to that beach that I had found in Thailand, but I did it the long way. I got a one-way ticket to Moscow. I did the Trans-Siberian Railway through Russia, down through Mongolia, into China, down to Hong Kong, and then from there took a flight to Bangkok and made my way back to the beach. And I thought, man, this is it. And I thought, and while I was there, I met a girl. And the idea was that I was going to continue traveling, but I thought, you know what? Well, let me take a little side quest here and see if it works with this girl. And she ended up becoming my wife, and then she ended up becoming my ex-wife.
Oh.
But that's fine. But she gave me 2 lovely kids. But while we were there, I started another business on the island. The same island that I went to, years earlier when I was backpacking, and I got a Thai-built speedboat for pretty low cost. But what I did there, in order to kind of maintain my life and my lifestyle, which was pretty modest, I took customers out on fishing trips, snorkeling trips. Just kind of living that dream. It didn't make very much money, but it was enough to kind of support me and my wife of the time, just kind of keep us there.
Yeah.
So she became pregnant, and when my son was born, it kind of really changed my mindset.
Yeah.
I thought, you know what, I don't want to raise kids in Thailand. I feel like later on that might limit their opportunities in life. It would be a little bit more difficult, for them to succeed, being born and raised in Thailand. So came back to the U.S. and I came back to the U.S. right around the end of 2009. Las Vegas had been hit really hard by the economic collapse of 2008, and there was just no jobs. I thought, man, what am I going to do? But I had kind of always wanted to serve in the military.
Yeah.
So I thought, man. So I got my wife. I've got a little kid, and I thought, you know what? Let me join the Army, and that's what I did.
Yeah.
Went to Fort Knox. It was a tanker, and they ask, where do you want to go? You got to pick your duty stations that you prefer. I think they do that thinking that that's where you want to go. That's not where we're going to send you. They sent me right back to Asia. So, I hadn't been in the U.S. for very long. I ended up back in Asia, this time in Korea.
Yeah.
But I was able to get command sponsorship, which means that I could have my family with me.
Oh, good.
So they sent them over there. In order to be command sponsored, you have to do an extended year. So at this point, I was going to be there for 2 years. And that was fine. So I got to live off post, have a car. It was actually pretty nice.
Yeah.
They did the command sponsorship program for a very short amount of time. It didn't work as well as they hoped. It added a whole lot more additional problems.
Yeah.
Just having families there, there's a whole lot more consideration for how to make that work. But while there in that second year, my wife she got pregnant with my second child, And during that time, I got orders to PCS to Fort Stewart in Georgia. But they weren't going to allow her to fly because she was too pregnant at that time. So they said, hey, we're going to extend you. So now I was going to get extended into my third year. And I thought, you know, since I'm getting extended, I may as well AIP, which is Area Incentive Program, which you extend another year and they give you like $300 extra a month. And so I did that. So now I'm in Korea for 3 total years, which people thought I was insane, but it was just kind of all, you know, just circumstance, you know, the way it ended up. And so into that third year, my daughter was born in Korea, and then went through the rest of my time there. They ended up PCSing me to Fort Hood. And so we moved there. We get to Fort Hood. I show up to my new unit, and they say, "Where are you coming from?" And I say, "Korea." And they said, "Well, don't unpack. We're going to Korea." And they were the first of the rotation that was gonna start happening. In fact, they even ultimately cased the colors of the unit that I was coming from and started a rotation going to the exact same place that I was just at.
Oh my gosh.
And also during that time, they involuntarily reclassed me from tanker to scout. And I thought, man, this is just not going the way I want. So I was coming up towards the end of my first contract. You know, of course, all your leadership is going to try to get you to re-enlist. And I thought, you know what, I think there's probably going to be more opportunity for me outside of the military. So I decided to finish up my contract and leave the military. And then from there, that's where I ended up, you know, driving a truck and then going into the oil field.
I love it. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back, and we're going to dive deeper into what DTF means.
All right.
What's up, Las Vegas? We're here at Able Baker Brewing Company. We're about halfway through filming with Nate from Really Okay Hockey, talking about the Las Vegas Warriors, his time working on Apache helicopters and getting stuff done. So you can check this out. This episode's going to come out in about a week. Check it out.
So DTF, direct to film.
Yes.
What does that mean in plain English, and why should brands care about it?
Yeah, so direct to film is a new print technology that allows you to do full color digital print onto any kind of fabric. Prior to that, any kind of digital print in the apparel decoration industry was direct to garment, which was printing directly onto a shirt. But you're limited. You're limited to pre-treated cotton. Another technology was sublimation, which is kind of applied the same way, but what that does is turn ink into a gas that then binds to polyester. But you're limited to white polyester, and so there's a lot of limitations in the digital print prior. Direct to film, what that does is it prints an ink, a special kind of ink that can withstand, you know, stretching, washability, things like that. It prints it onto a film, gives it a spray of white as the underbase, and then has an adhesive layer, and then it is kind of like a traditional heat transfer. It is applied using heat and pressure and time, and that goes onto any kind of fabric. So you can do polyester, cotton, blends, denim, leather, doesn't matter. You're able to apply this kind of print onto whatever. And so what that allows us to do then is have super high color count at any quantity. So we can do one shirt, and it doesn't cost any more than what it would cost just for that print. The traditional method of decorating apparel is screen print.
Yes.
And that's an old technology, thousands of years back in China, where they would take ink and pull it through an area that had the part of the design is open and allows the ink to flow through onto the fabric, and then that is then cured, and which is still a great way to produce apparel, but you're limited by color.
Yeah.
And then also quantity. So if you have a high color count, each color has to have its own setup. And then because of this high setup costs, you can't really make it affordable unless you're doing high numbers of shirts.
That makes sense. So with that, you would need your own screen for every additional color. You would need a completely different like file for every single layer.
Right. Yeah. There's the setup time is extensive in screen printing, and that's where it makes it kind of difficult. Where we really excel is the small, mid-size orders. We still do screen printing for the low color, high quantity orders.
Yeah.
But that is very rare nowadays. But it makes sense for certain kind of orders.
Yeah, and screen printing is what I kind of grew up with growing up in the hardcore and the punk scenes.
Sure.
We would make our own little screens and then grab ink from like Home Depot and then just scrape it on and then sell $5 bangers at the back in the back of shows.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing for direct to film, it's faster, it's more versatile, full color prints, and more durability for less overhead.
Yes. Yeah. So it really brings the cost down for the consumer, so that they can have exactly what they want. And then also, there are prints that we can do that you just can't do with screen printing. So we could do we could do photos.
Oh wow.
So it really expands what you're able to put on a shirt as well.
So what's your most requested service right now?
It would probably be that. Our printers are running all the time. We were the first ones in Nevada to bring it to Nevada commercially.
Oh, nice.
And that was about 3 years ago. And we've just continued to grow with the industry. In fact, lead the industry in a lot of ways. Continuing to invest in the product. We've got the best inks, the best consumables. We've invested in what's called a spectrophotometer, which allows us to color match.
Yeah.
One of the problems in digital printing is being able to get that exact color right. But what the spectrophotometer does is it's a lens that reads the color and gives you exactly what that is. And then in the computer, you set up what's called an ICC profile, and that then allows you to adjust in the printer itself the right kind of mix of ink in order to achieve the color that you're trying to reach.
So that's what allows you to match that Coca-Cola red color.
Right, exactly.
What is one thing that rewind. What's something that most first-time merch buyers miss out on and kind of need a little bit of coaching on?
So there's a lot of people, and this is probably true across the board of all industries. You get a lot of people that think that they know better, or they want to act. I don't know if it's an ego thing or what, but they'll make some big mistakes when it comes to doing orders. I would always suggest talking to our staff. That way we can make the production file optimal for whatever you're trying to print. Like for instance, I guess it doesn't matter if it's direct to film, direct to garment, screen print, whatever. If you do a big blotch of ink somewhere on the shirt, you're going to have breathability issues, you're going to have feel issues. So utilizing the color of the shirt in the design and then knocking that color out so that it's the color of the shirt, what that does is it softens up the design, it makes it more breathable. The less amount of ink in the design, the better it's going to be. Like we're going to do your short shirt a little bit later, and the design you sent me is not optimal. But there's ways we can do it. So that's when I asked, what color. If we were putting it onto a white shirt, we'd knock the white, from your text out, so it would be the white of the shirt that shows through.
That makes sense.
And that would give it a little bit more breathability, a little bit softer feel. But then there's also some different things we can do to if you want a distressed pattern or something, where it kind of breaks that up. Because right now, and you'll see later, I'll show you why, and you'll understand. Is that when it's a big block of ink, it doesn't matter what it is. It's not ideal. It's not bad. But there's ways to improve that for apparel.
Awesome. And one more thing before we and I want you to show me that.
Sure.
Fulfillment. How do you actually handle inventory and drop shipping for your clients? Because I know that's something that you do that not a lot of other places do.
Yeah. So The fulfillment, so if we're setting up a web store, so right now we're only doing apparel. Like, so we're not doing any kind of promo products and stuff like that. If they want promo products, if they're wanting tumblers and things, they're going to have to order bulk.
Yeah.
But because we can do the print on demand with apparel, that makes it to where people can set up a store, order one shirt, and we can produce it. And if they're utilizing a shirt that we have in house, we just pull the shirt, from our inventory, print it, put a shipping label on it, and send it off. But they have the ability to use whatever kind of style or design that they want. But if it's not something that we carry in house, it adds about an extra day, sometimes two, depending on the time of the year for shipping, to the production. So we use a few different vendors that have warehouses in Phoenix and in Reno.
Okay.
And so we'll typically get that apparel the next day, and then we'll finish the production. So there's two parts to it. One is getting the apparel, the other is printing the design, and then marrying them together for the final product.
Nice. So we're going to take a look at it. He's going to teach me how to DTF.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So these are going to be your shirts here.
Hell yeah.
We got one small, one medium. These are our most popular t-shirt.
Yeah.
They're the next level 6210, which is a blend. It's a 60% cotton, 40 polyester.
Heck yeah.
Which gets a lot softer. It's really popular for Vegas because it's lighter, it's more breathable, it's soft. So
it's really heavy. These are so you can tell that they're just breathable. It's really similar to that Bella cotton feel.
Yeah. I'd say next level and Bella canvas, I would say quality wise is on par with each other.
Heck yeah. So what's the first step?
All right, first step, we're gonna thread it onto the platen here.
Okay.
So go ahead and open up the bottom of the shirt. And then we're gonna thread it through onto the platen.
Okay. Just like that.
And then it looks like we're doing the front first, so we'll do a front left chest. We're going to come over here with the scissors, which I think, where did I put them? I just had it in my hand. There it is.
Right here.
All right, we're going to go ahead and cut out one of the smaller ones. We're going to make a front left chest first, and we'll put the Veteran Voices podcast large logo on the back.
Cool.
All right, bring it over here. Now, for our staff that is like really, really good at doing these, and they do them all the time. So our left chest, we're gonna stick right the top of the part, right there where that star is. So move it this way a little bit. So center it right over here.
Okay. Yeah, just like that.
All right, so we're gonna remove this. Slide the whole thing in. And take that blue handle and pull it down. Pull it down all the way. There you go. We're gonna wait, and when it beeps, we're gonna lift it up. All right, go ahead and lift all the way up. All right, slide it back out. Now grab one of the corners and just peel it off. Now we're gonna take this Teflon sheet, and we're going to go for a second press, and then what that does is just mashes it into the fibers.
Oh, dope.
And gives it makes it more durable. And do it again. All right, that's it. Up. All right. Now we're going to take this shirt, we're going to pull it off, flip it around, and we're going to put the large logo on the back. Now see how there's a little bit of wrinkles in there? We can do a pre-press on this, so we just go ahead and just bring it down for like a couple seconds, kind of like ironing your shirt. There you go. You can lift it back up now. And that helps to get any kind of moisture out of the shirt as well.
Oh, nice.
So go ahead and cut out the large logo. And then after you're done with that, I'm going to need you to do this whole stack of shirts right here. Pretty good. So go ahead and slide it in and go ahead and bring the press down. Peel it off. There you go. You already know what to do.
Look at that.
Big reveal.
Big reveal.
That one is done. Very nice. All right, now I'm not going to tell you. So where'd the other shirt go? There was another black shirt that I gave you.
I ate it?
You might have.
No, it's right here.
Oh, okay. All right. Go ahead. Now I'm standing back without any instructions. See if you can do this.
Ooh, put me to the test.
Also.
Okay. So let's see.
One of the cool things is this is a way for smaller startups to start their own apparel business.
Oh, nice.
They can invest in a heat press and just buy the prints from us and do this portion themselves at home.
Oh, that's so cool.
So we've got quite a few clients that started out real small, and they've got a heck of a business now, just buying the prints and pressing the shirts.
And that allows you to be able to just print the DTFs for them, and then they just do it. That's so cool.
And it helps them. It allows them to get a little bit better margins because they're doing part of the process, on their own. But then there's people too that are like, we don't want to learn a new thing. we don't make shirts. We make other things.
And plus, it's nice to be hands-on and just make something for yourself.
Exactly.
Just about like that. Let's see what we got.
So time, temperature, and pressure are the three things that go into making this a really durable print. And if any one of those things are off, it can mess with the outcome.
That makes total sense. You leave something on for half a second too long, it's cooked. If you leave it on for not quite long enough, it doesn't fully transfer on there.
It's like baking. Yeah.
I noticed it switches the times on there automatically.
Yeah, for the second press.
So how many shirts can you usually get done in a day? Just curious.
It depends. It depends how many locations. So like if you're doing a sleeve print, a front print, a back print, because each time, as you can see, each location is another bit of work. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're just doing a single print, you can do quite a bit in an hour.
I don't know. I'm getting pretty quick at this, huh?
Yeah, you're getting it down. So on this press right here, this one we can do a whole lot more because so right now, like for instance, this one will come over here while this one's pressing, you add the other shirt, put on the thing, and then when that comes up, it comes back over. And so this one is for knocking out a whole bunch of, so this one you'd pull it off, hit the button again, pull this one off, put the next one on. And so this one's a whole lot faster. I'm putting him on this one just because it's a little easier, a little more manual. This press right here is so that we can do wide, like all over prints on a shirt. We can do tablecloths, we can do flags, all kinds of different things.
Hell yeah.
So how much do these machines usually run you?
These ones are quite a bit more. These are pneumatic. This one, I don't know, I think it was like $3,000. It was about the same for this one because it's the wider footprint that it has. And then this also takes a air compressor. So and you hear the air compressor spinning up because it used air to move over.
So it's like
yeah. So this one you get a little bit more of a workout. Yeah, but by the end of the day, your arms are starting to feel it. This one is super simple because you're just using your foot to actuate the action.
Cool. Awesome. And the result is,
there you go.
look at that. I didn't do too bad.
Not too shabby.
That looks so good.
Yeah.
Now this is a 2-color print. And if you were doing a whole lot of shirts, we'd screen print it because since you're doing a low quantity, it makes sense to set up, a screen print to be able to do just a small amount. So in this instance, since we're doing 2, it makes sense to do with the direct to film.
Nice.
But cost wise, if you were doing say 200, screen print would probably be more cost effective for you on this one. And we determine, we give you the best possible, price and production method depending on what it is you have. So
yeah.
Cool.
Awesome. Thanks, bye.
Yeah.
All right.
So, made the t-shirt. How did I do? Like, do I have a career in direct to film transfer printing or?
Well, I mean, you were okay. With a little bit of work, I think we could get you up to speed.
Yeah.
But I would recommend you sticking to podcasting.
Thanks. I'll stick to that. I'm going to stick to real estate. So one thing I've been wondering, you work a lot with nonprofits. How do you balance business and giving back?
I don't know if it's really considered balance. I kind of figure that, everything I do from business to life to home life to friendship and community is all kind of, built into who I am and what I do. So there'll be times where, I spend more time in the office. There'll be times where I'm spending more time at home. There'll be times where I'm spending more time out in the community. And one of the things that I love about being a business owner is it gives me the freedom to decide where my priorities should be. So if everything's running good at the shop, I don't even have to be here. I can spend more time in the community. I can spend more time at home.
Nice.
Later this week, in fact, Wednesday, I'm taking the kids to Six Flags in California.
That's dope.
And I can do that, which, and I want to prioritize that piece of my life, especially, being able to take the kids before they go, while they're still in summer, and we can have the freedom to be able to go and do that. So, yeah, it's not necessarily managing balance. It's seeing where the priorities for me fit at the time.
And one thing that I have noticed from talking to a lot of vets is most vets often struggle after the military service. What keeps your wheels moving?
Constant forward progress. The times where I have the most amount of difficulty in my own mental health is when I'm either stagnant or falling back. And as an entrepreneur, there's ups and downs all the time, and the downs hurt a lot.
Yes.
But that definitely drives me to change that course and get things back on track.
So, do you ever feel imposter syndrome? Because I know I do.
I might have in the beginning, but I'm one of those people that can just show up somewhere and figure it out.
Oh, yeah.
If I ever find myself in a situation where, I'm kind of the odd one out, I entertain myself. So, I can hang out with billionaires in the morning and go hang out with homeless people in the afternoon, and they're all people.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't matter so much to me, where I am. It was 2022, I ran for state senate, and I was amongst all these people who were running for politics, and I didn't care. I was still going to be myself. And being the genuine you will get you through a lot of that imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
because you are who you're going to be. Now, I'm constantly learning, constantly looking for ways to improve myself. And, you know, I've taken to heart that old adage, you know, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Yeah.
So I'd like to surround myself with people that have achieved what I'm trying to achieve, people that are smarter than me, which isn't hard to do. There's a lot of, I tell people that I don't do stuff right very often, almost never. But when I do, I try to repeat that. And so anything you see me doing here at the shop is stuff that we've tried that's worked. What you don't see is all the stuff that we've tried that hasn't worked. And it can become very frustrating when you try, and it feels like you're banging your head against a wall, and you're like, man, nothing's working. Then eventually, you're gonna get something right, and you're like, okay, we figured that part out. Let's keep doing that.
Yeah.
And then while we were doing that, now you're trying the next thing. You're gonna have failures along the way every single time. What you don't want is a catastrophic failure, and that's where my fear lies, is a catastrophic failure. Doing something that you can't recover from. And this year has been a very, very difficult year. Last year we killed it. It was awesome. This year's been a struggle. We lose money in Q1 every single time. And I thought, man, you know what? So towards the end of last year, I thought, let's see if we can fix that. And I dumped a ton of money and time into trying to build a digital marketing machine that would you know, keep us from having such a slow season. Well, it didn't matter how much money I put into it and how much time I put into it, it didn't work.
Yeah.
And now I feel like we're in a worse position because I tried it. So, you know, had I not done that, we wouldn't have been in a situation that we're in now. We're crawling out of it, though. I went back to what works.
Yeah.
What works is me going out, putting myself in the community, and just reminding people that I exist and telling them what I do. It's a very unique industry because everybody needs something. If they don't need something, they know 10 people that do.
Yeah.
You know, their kid, they might not have any need for any kind of promotional products or merchandise, but their kid's on a softball team.
Yeah.
You know, and they need something, or you know, or they're part of a church, and the church wants to do an event, or you know, or they're, you know, they have a friend that's in a band. You know, there's it's interesting too, because word of mouth has been our biggest driver of business by far. Where regardless of what I've tried to do, the product speaks for itself.
Yeah.
People are, and because it's a physical product, people are looking at, wow, where'd you get that? That's awesome. And automatically they send them to us because we're the ones that made it. And they're like, oh, I want that too for my company. You know, oh yeah, no problem. Oh, what else do you guys do? Well, we do a lot.
Yeah.
We do a lot of stuff. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to be able to provide that to people and give them, you know, the warm and fuzzies over what they're getting.
Because there's no better business card than to have something tangible that you made, that people get to have their hands on and touch and feel, whether someone's wearing it or not. I mean, that's absolutely.
And then because I'm strong in the veteran community, you know, they're my people.
Yeah.
There's so much that we do in the community just because I know them. And there's not a whole lot of people that have this kind of business. There are competitors, but like I said before, they're co-competitors. So it's very rewarding in that sense.
So if you were talking to a veteran who is in the process of transitioning, kind of having a tough time, what is one thing that you would give them? One thing that you would tell them to help push them forward in their journey?
First of all, invest in yourself. And if you don't have a lot of money, you've got time. Invest, you know, in learning a skill, a trade, something that you can use to help others.
Yeah.
And that's what it is, you know, the greatest thing about capitalism is that you can get wealthy by helping people. It's not, you know, it's one of those things that if you can increase your own value, and the value, by increasing your value, what that means is increase your value to others, whether that be, you know, just something where you have one client, and by one client I mean, you know, an employer.
Yes.
Because that's what you're doing, is you're selling your time. Everybody's their own employer. It's just or everybody's their own entrepreneur, but it's just, are you going to just sell your time? That's another thing. When I was in the oil industry, I maximized how much money I could make for my time, and then I sold as much of my time as I could. It was great money, but it was at that time that I realized money is not what I cherish the most.
Yeah.
It's freedom. Money's nice because it's a tool to help you with the freedom. But freedom is, for me, is my ultimate goal. Being able to decide what I want to do, when I want to do it, with who I want to do it. It's so increase your value to others, and then apply that to where you can then create freedom in your own life.
That's really insightful to think of yourself as the commodity, and how you spend that is the value that you get out of it.
Right.
Like, that is huge. And what does success look like for you? Money, legacy, or family?
Being able to do what I want, and if what I want to do is spend time with my family, that's great. Initially, I thought it might be legacy, but that isn't. I don't care.
Yeah.
And then if it's a family legacy, like I've tried to get my kids to get interest in this business, because I would love to be able to pass it down to them.
Oh yeah.
But they have no interest. They want to take their own path, which is fine.
Yeah.
That's totally fine. As long as their path, is a constant forward progress, towards what they have interest in.
Las Vegas has a bunch of big players. Is there a local business here in the Valley, other than TPC, that you look at them and say, damn, they got it right?
All the time.
All the time.
I don't know if there's any one particular business, but the nice thing about my business is I get to meet business owners and decision makers from larger companies all the time, and each one is very unique. Whether it's their product, is it a service, the way they do things. I'm part of a few different groups where it's you meet once a month, and it's business owners, and we come together and talk about our problems, and it's nice being able to get insight from other people about problems that you're having, while at the same time giving insight that you have for their problems. So I don't know if there's any one particular business that has got it right, and I don't know if there is a right. There's so many different ways of doing things, and then each business owner, they've got their own goals, their own way of doing things, and I don't know whether that's right or wrong. Like I said, for some, money might be the goal.
Yeah.
Freedom might be the goal for others. It might be helping. There's nonprofits here in town where it's the amount of people that you get to help.
Yeah.
We get to help people make money doing it and have freedom. It's a win-win-win all around. So I can't think of any business that has it right, especially, and the markets change, things change all the time. It's constantly evolving, constantly moving, constantly changing, so any business that's successful right now might not be successful next year. So it's just because things change so much. I would say your ability to adapt and be fluid with current problems that, whether it be government or whether it be, economic, uncertainties and things like that, being able to move and adjust to those issues.
Now, one thing I want to know, everyone that has and owns their own business has a dream client. Is that ring any bells for you? Like someone that you wish you could work with that you haven't worked with yet?
Yeah. The dream client is going to be somebody that values what we do, and then orders frequently. We aren't the cheapest.
Yeah.
We don't want to be the cheapest. We don't want to race to the bottom. It's when people say, "Oh, I can get it cheaper over at this other place," and I either tell them one of the things I'll tell them is well, we can get it cheaper for them too if you want junk.
Yeah.
And then they say, well, I don't want junk.
Yeah.
Okay, well now the conversation isn't about price; it's about quality. So do you? If it's about price, we can get you the cheapest thing. We'll get you the cheapest thing that falls apart when you pick it up. And if your goal is the homeless person digging it out of a dumpster, you know, is that who you're trying to give your stuff to? Because when you go to a convention and you go around the tables and you're filling your tote bag with all the giveaways, and you get home, you stand next to the trash can and you say, this thing right here, this squishy ball, I have no need for that. It goes right in the trash.
Yeah.
Then you have somebody picks up a pen. Oh, you know, this pen's all right, and I'll put this in the keep pile. Mm-hmm. Tools are a good thing. You know, nobody throws away a screwdriver.
Yeah.
The goal, the idea is to be able to have something that you give away that they put on their desk with your branding on it. And sometimes you want to be really discreet with your branding. Put it really small. Mm-hmm. You know, somewhere where it's not just in their face. Because a lot of times you're like, man, this thing would be so cool if it didn't have this stupid logo on the front of it. Yeah. And you just throw it right in the trash. Yeah, but if you make the logo, you know, classy and put it in a way, now it can be something that they hang on to forever and ever. And it keeps you top of mind. Now, you might have paid a little bit more for that product, the company that bought that product to give out, mm-hmm. but the value of that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that you can spend money on something that somebody's going to see one time and toss it, or you can spend a little bit more money on something that somebody's going to use for years.
Yes.
And just because it's a little bit more money, some people get turned off by that. They're like, man, I really don't want to spend $1 more per product. But the end goal being that you are top of mind to the person that's using it, it's so much cheaper than buying squishy balls every year.
Yes.
You know, so
it makes more sense to invest in something that is actually going to stick around versus something that's just going to be filling up a landfill. I totally get that, 100%.
Exactly. And you know, it's funny because some people go in with the mindset, well, you know, I'm going to go to this convention and I've got a booth and I've got to have something to give away. Yeah. There's no thought. They just know they have to have giveaways because everybody else is doing it. Mm-hmm. Well, it's funny because we rarely have giveaways when we go to conventions. Yeah. We don't need to. Mm-hmm. We put out all these different types of products on our table. People are like, oh, can I have this? I'm like, sorry, it's display only. You can buy it. You can buy it in bulk with your logo on it to be giveaways. Because we want to be able to show. I mean, we fill our table with a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah. You know, and that's also. There are some giveaways that we'll do, like golf tournaments and things. You know, mm-hmm. We'll give away golf balls with our logo on it. You know, golf towels, things like that. And that's also because it's a whole lot less traffic. You know, every 5 minutes there's a group of 4 people coming through, and like, here you go. And the great thing about a golf ball is if somebody loses the golf ball, which they're going to because they're hitting a golf ball and they're not a pro. Even the pros lose golf balls. Yeah. Somebody's gonna find that golf ball. I'm like, oh, what's this golf ball? A Total Promotion Company. I'm gonna look that up. Like, so yeah, there are some giveaways that are good, but you definitely want it to be very intentional.
Heck yeah! So from Thailand to tanks mm-hmm. to t-shirts, what would you think 19-year-old you would think looking at you now?
Oh, 19-year-old me. Let's see, I was in college and 19-year-old me would probably be like, yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. I've done drastically different things throughout my life. Mm-hmm. I've had lots of chapters. I've got a 5-year exit strategy for this business as well. Yeah. My daughter's going into 8th grade right now. That gives 5 years before my youngest is out of high school. Mm-hmm. And then that puts me right back into continuing the adventure that is my life.
Hell yeah.
And so I've got an idea. I kind of want to go back to Thailand. I don't know if I'm going to do a speedboat business again, but I know I can. Yeah. And I know that if I was to do it again, mm-hmm. it would be way better because of all the experience and education of doing business. It would be way more successful yeah. if I was to do it now than when I did it then. But when I did it then, it was a great learning experience.
So speaking of adventures, one final thing I want to leave is we are doing the Silkies hike for mm-hmm. Irreverent Warriors coming yes. up here at the end of the year. Are you stoked on that?
Yeah, I've gone the last couple of years, and it's a blast every single time. And for those that don't know, the Irreverent Warriors Silky hike, it's kind of an expanded. there's a hiking, there is an exercise portion to it, but it's also kind of like a pub crawl.
Yeah.
So it's a great way for veterans to get together and just act goofy and just have a good time. And I'm all about acting goofy and having a good time.
Especially for a good fucking cause too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Awesome, Brandon. Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate you, bud.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll do it again soon.
Yeah, please.